Hey, Treasure History. Welcome back. I hope that you had an awesome spring break. I hope it was fun and relaxing, and I hope that you're really ready to be back because with 5 more classes until we crush the iLeap, I'm ready to work hard with you for the next 5 days. So here we go. Let's start with today's essential question. It is, what are the key characteristics of Greek and Roman civilizations? Just pause and write this title at the top of your notebook page, Greece and Rome. Go ahead and draw your lines to divide into your 4 key points. So Greece and Rome are called classical civilizations. We call them classical because they created the foundation for modern times. We studied Greece and Rome in depth back when we had our units about them. So now let's review what we learned about them. Let's start with Greece. Greece has a unique or special geography, different from most of the other civilizations that we've studied. For one thing, there's no famous river that supported life in Greece. Instead, as you can tell from this map, it's all about the sea. Only about 20% of the land in Greece was useful for agriculture. The crops that grew there were olive trees and grapes. These plants were able to grow in dry soil with a warm climate. The rest of the land was mountainous. Remember this picture? I took it myself. These are mountain goats, adapting to the climate of Greece, which had tons of mountains. So as a result of these mountains, Greek city-states were isolated from one another. It was really hard to travel and communicate over land if your land looked like this. But a huge geographical advantage, or a good thing, for Greece was that it was surrounded by sea. The seawater was salty, of course, so it wasn't good for farming, but it was awesome for transportation and trade. For hundreds of years, the Greeks were the major power in Mediterranean sea trade. Because of their sea trade power, Greek language and culture spread around the Mediterranean region. Please pause and copy key point 1. It was hard to farm and travel over land in Greece, so Greeks needed to use sea trade to get food. Please pause if you need more time. One of the earliest societies in Greece were the Minoans, who lived on the island of Crete. They were conquered by the Mycenaeans. Do you remember what each of these societies, the Minoans and the Mycenaeans, are remembered for? Later in Greece's history, the city-states, which are also called polises, grew bigger and developed different, shall we say, personalities. Athens became known as a center for education and culture. Athens is known for its architecture with pillars or columns. The Parthenon is a famous temple to the goddess Athena. Athenians are also known for the study of philosophy. Famous philosophers like Socrates and Aristotle discussed politics and taught people to question everything. Sparta, the other really famous Greek city-state, was known for its military power. Spartans and Athenians normally fought against each other like brother and sister, but when outside forces attacked Greece, the two city-states banded together to fight. Together, Athens and Sparta defeated the Persians when they invaded Greece in the Persian Wars. Pause and copy your key point number 2. Greek city-states, or polis, which is the word for a city-state in Greek, were independent of each other. Athens and Sparta were the most famous city-states. Pause if you need more time. Let's move on to Rome. Romans defeated the Greek Empire in 146 BC, so Greece became part of the Roman Republic. Here's Greece. You can tell from the orange shading in the key that this became part of the Roman Empire or the Roman Republic in about 100 BC. Because of sea trade on the Mediterranean, plus Alexander the Great's conquest, the Greek language and culture had already spread throughout the region. The spread of Greek culture was called Hellenism. Greece and Rome had already been sharing Greek or Hellenistic culture. Romans adopted lots of aspects of Greek culture. Romans took on Greek religious beliefs, this is a picture of Greek culture or Hellenism spreading all over due to Mediterranean sea trade. Romans took on Greek religious beliefs, so Roman and Greek gods have the same myths and characteristics, just with different names. See how this Greek person is calling this god Zeus, while this Roman soldier is saying Jupiter. It's the same God, just a different name. Romans built buildings like the Pantheon and other temples using Greek architecture like these pillars or columns. Key point 3, Greece and Rome shared culture, especially art, architecture, and religion. Pause if you need more time to copy. Last key point, Rome. It started as a small city on the peninsula of Italy, which is what you see here. It was on the Tiber River, and unlike Greece, Italy was a great place for farming as a result of this river. It was located in the perfect place for a city. It was protected by 7 hills all around the city. It had fertile soil from the Tiber River and a mild climate for farming. It also had great access to the Mediterranean for sea trade. So, as you can tell from this map, the Romans definitely sea traded. They were all over the Mediterranean Sea. Over hundreds of years, Rome gained more and more territory. Rome grew into a huge empire, covering all of Alex the Great's former empire, which I show you here, plus most of Europe. Overall, Rome lasted for about 1,000 years. During this time, Rome created many innovations that we still see or even use today. One famous innovation was the aqueducts. The aqueducts were tunnels used for irrigation. They were built with arches when they were above ground, and you can still see many of these aqueducts around Europe today. Romans also built roads. Remember the phrase, all roads lead to Rome? These roads were made of stone, and they were built to last. That's why you can still see many of these around Europe today, too. They covered thousands of miles so that it would be easier for the government to rule this massive territory. Romans also built giant arenas like this one, which is called the Colosseum. This was where public events such as gladiator fights would take place. Here's key point 4. Roman innovations include stone roads, aqueducts, arches, and gladiator arenas. Pause if you need more time to copy. Now X out of this tab and please work on your packet until it's time for us to do guided practice.